And wow, did I screw shit up or what? Holy crap. Why do I sound like I'm echoing? Hey everybody. This is Moon Day. Welcome to Moon Day. Good morning. Awesome. Tell him to get in contact with me via anyway, and I'll try to respond. I need to go through and check my media today before I forget, because it's Monday. I call this my Monday work. I go through and check everything and move on with my Monday. But apparently, Monday was established in 321 by the Romans when they decided the sun and the moon would be Sunday and Monday. And they established a 7-day calendar. What else did I glean from that article that I read? Saturday was from Saturn. Friday was from some lady who was one of the gods' wives. Thursday is Thor's day. Thor. Wednesday, I forgot what Wednesday was, and Tuesday is named after the something or other of the gods. So there's that. So today is Moon Day. Welcome to Moon Day, everybody. Just a fun way to laugh at things and how they're established. I would like to, if any of them watch or come by, to say hello. Welcome any new subscribers I gained after having Monkey on the Numbed Wasteland Friday. Awesome. Thank you very much, Monkey, and anybody else. I appreciate it. Subscribers and views are really what I'm trying to push towards. Trying to make everybody happy. Give you guys a show you enjoy, but still something that I want to do. And with that, I want to mention also, it's really easy to get on the show. I use Google Hangouts primarily, but if you get hold of me, I usually try to set it up real nice and spiffy. I'll give you your own podium, and you can come on and chat. Otherwise, I will happily read what you guys have in the conversation in the chat during the shows when I have no guests, and I will obviously chat forever about nothing on wild tangents whenever necessary. So we have a board, and I love this board, and what we're going to do is we're going to load it. Welcome to the Great Debate. All right, now, in case anybody doesn't know how this works, like anybody doesn't know how I run my show, well, you never know. There are 18 topics. 18 topics divided up into categories of 6 under 3 categories: the easy, the general, and the hot topics. That doesn't necessarily delineate what type of topic that's going to be. It's just generic. It means nothing. Underneath each of these topics, there is a statement or a question. And perspective-wise, I would like to see how people look at things, whether they agree or disagree, why, where they come from on it, and talk over these points. I just love my retarded neighbors. Oh, let's have a big-ass dogs and not train them, and then when they run off, let's drive like a moron chasing them down the road and then bitch and cuss at the dog for not listening. Oh, yeah, I sent a video on Discord, and I think you will love it. He looks like a penis. I understand. It was funny. I need to get me one of those little talking skulls, though. That'd be cool. Training your dog is actually very easy. I should know. I've had a lot of dogs, and I don't anymore. What else do we got? I gotta stop saying, I sound dumb. I sound like a numbskull. Oh, shit. Back to the show. Now, since I don't have any guests today, as everybody in the chat knows, because they all have wrenches and they've been here a while, you get a wrench by coming on the show, just in case. It's up to the chat to pick my topics. And what would the chat like to pick? Because I have 18 topics. Right here. There. They're shining in my face. I need to make some adjustments to things on this show, guys. I've got so many projects just kind of sitting in the side for this show that are not finished, that I need to finish and render and throw in here. And we have video games. We haven't done that in a while. Sounds like fun. Are open world games better than path games? Ooh. I don't know. Here's my thought. Sometimes when you play a video game, your whole point is to kind of get yourself into a world where you feel like you can accomplish something, you can escape and get away from others. Some people understand this, and offline games are awesome. Pardon the hum in the background. They're cutting trees across the street, and I can't get rid of it if you can hear it. Games like Call of Duty, to me, it's often fun to go through the game and play the walkthrough. And the way the games are put together and the way they take the music and the scene, I have to tell you, there's a few scenes in some of the Call of Duties where they play the right music for the right moment, and you just get right into that game, and it feels like you're flying the helicopter or you're actually in the mission. You just get right up in front of your TV and feel like everything you do has just got to be perfect because you have to survive the mission, and you're on your own because you know anybody that is there with you isn't real and they're just going to die quick. But then you get into world games and you try to explore, and you get a different feeling out of the world game. It's not something you're just along for the ride on as much as like a walkthrough game. It's more ability to change and transfer things and interact with other entities, whether they be why can't I remember the terms for these? Probably because I haven't been in that world for a while, but the entities that are created by the world and the entities that are other individuals playing in the world for the means of that. And these games are fun. They're not my personal favorite because in a video game, when you jump in kind of knowing the reality you're going to be in. When it's a walkthrough game, you kind of like knowing that there is somewhere to head. You know where to go and what to do. And when you're in a world game, it's kind of, okay, I know what I'd like to do, and then you can get off topic very easy and forget what you're doing. If you ever need to fill in, I can always be a guest. I'm always free. I'll have you on again, Dewey. We'll set that up. Probably not this week because of the holiday, but we'll set that up. Good morning. You're early there, eh? Monday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mondays have always been this time. I like this time. It works really well for me. Gives me a fresh start. Lets me look at things in the morning. Going down the list. It depends on the game. Absolutely, Adam, and welcome. I don't know I need a goal to achieve with games. Right. Some path games I wish could explore the world or have free mode to explore. And that's another cool thing. I don't know if you realize this, but even path games have a little bit of exploratory freedom. Most of them do. And they often offer side achievements for doing those exploratory missions. You may not realize they're there. It's stupid little things like glowing skulls hiding in the corner, or special intel, or a sphere that was hidden down a hallway or a cave. It's weird things in the game that most people don't stop to look for that are hidden there to get them to explore the world a little more. Trying to stay with the chat. A path game has to be good. It has to engage with you on many levels. Open world basically lets you tell your own story. Yes, and I agree with that. There is a really good open world. I don't know if it's shame to admit this anymore, but I still like Minecraft. Minecraft is an awesome game. I play with my kids a lot more than anything else right now. It's very open world. It allows you to decide how you're going to do things. It gives you the ability to do them in the fashion that you want. However, it's very easy when you're trying to gather resources to go on a mission to kind of lose yourself in the resource gathering and then get diverted from the mission and forget what you're trying to do, or uh, you go digging for a little bit of iron, you end up finding redstone and diamonds, you keep digging, you start tunneling, and you forget that you are only after enough iron to make a hopper. Whereas when I've gone through and playing like a stage of Halo or something, I feel like I completed a mission. And I don't always look for those little side pieces, but I know they're there. Hi Jacob, how you doing? It depends on the game. Yeah, it really does depend on the game. It has to be engaging. I'm with the Batman who laughs. Okay. The Lego Batman is really fun. And when I do play with my son, admittedly, because it is fun, I, unlike him, go through with the intention to find every Lego piece and build all of the side pieces, whereas he goes through with the intention to play the game and get through it. So even within one game, different people have different goals. The game just helps establish those goals and get you on a course, get you moving somewhere. Pray to the moon, the big ass in the sky. Absolutely. I 100% completed the game Shadow Complex. I've never played it. Cryptic. I'm the fat man. Batman? Batman, you say? No, I said fat man. Shut the fuck up. Yes, Minecraft is a classic. I have a few versions of Minecraft. I let my Xbox Live shut off because I don't want to pay for it right now. So I have the Xbox Live one. I have Windows 10. I have the Windows regular. I have the 360 Xbox version. So I have a few. I love Rising World. It's like a 3D version of Minecraft that's still in development. I think they have a small team. Numbed, are you going to address QuickTime events? QuickTime events, like the QuickTime games, like the quick little progress games? I'm not sure. I like watching gameplay of Minecraft, but I think I'd pay it in this day in age now. If it was back in the 90s, I'd probably played the hell out of it. Back in the 90s, was it in the 90s or 2000s? I want to say there was a real music game that I got into. Amplitude and Frequency was my shit back then. Dark Knight Metal is really awesome comic event. I'm not a comic person, but one of these days I should go through the short collection I have here and see if they're worth anything to anyone, because I got some good comics in great condition and a bunch of Batman. My son has a stack of Batman upstairs I let him have. Is QuickTime still used? Yes, QuickTime games are still fun, but we are back on the board. QuickTime events. Oh, are you talking like the what game is it that I had that where you find the special portal or something and it transports you to this side world and you run these little side quests real quick in the side, like Sonic the Hedgehog did that a lot. If you gathered all the coins or a certain number of coins through the mission, you got to jump into the coin realm or something like that and bounce off the edges, just try to avoid the holes. It was, if that's what you're talking about, QuickTime of sequences in video games I meant. If that's what you're talking about, then they're fun. It kind of diverts you from the mission that you're actually doing, which keeps you really good on the mission. Realistically, when you can bounce out of the mission for a moment and then get back in and keep your mind straight. Okay, sorry, Adam. Sonic is rings, Mario is coins. Remember, Real Player used to play games on Newgrounds. That's an oldie site. I can't believe it's still around. Everything's still around or coming back. That's how shit works. FMV sequences where you time a button push. Oh, so you're talking like the areas in games where you get so long to create or to finish something. Like you have 2 minutes to run from one end here to there, but there's a skull hidden somewhere in there. You need to find it. Or you have to drive from here to there in a certain amount of time, but there's so much in the world to explore, grab, or use that you can only do so much. Those are sometimes fun. I don't know. They kind of give you that adrenaline rush in the game to keep you pushing towards the goal. And of course, those are the games that usually keep giving you those radio sequences. You got to get there in time. You got 30 seconds left. The platform's about to blow up. Resident Evil 4 knife fight. Alright, guys. What do we got left? How many do I can't think. I have 17 topics left on this board. Who's going to pick the next one? We can pick anything, guys. What do you want to talk about? We got some controversy. We got school, which is semi-popular, actually. We have rewards, which is our newest category. We have politics, which is angry Amish hitman says sex. What might be the thrill of almost dying? What might be the thrill of almost dying during sex be? I can't grammar. We'll get to virtual reality next, Jacob. Perfect. So there's a sequence of, what is it called? I had the word. It's autoerotic asphyxiation. And this seems to be becoming popular. And also in like BDSM world, I'm starting to see more people into like the tying and plastic and stuff. This question comes from an article somebody else covered. I can't for the life of me right now remember where I was listening to this. I was in the chat. I wasn't on the show. But the conversation of sex and different acts and how to breathe and all of that stuff. I'm a shit man, rolling on the floor laughing. Hunley says endorphins. Japan calls the female orgasm the little death. So yeah, aka breath play. Yes, breath play. However, you can suffer a heart attack during sex. Yes, you can. They want the Darwin. Alright, so put your hands up if you don't watch porn. Okay? I'm not seeing any hands. Damn. That's because we're online. Never mind. Put your hands down. I bet you never lifted them, did you? Alright, so when you watch porn, you inadvertently come across shit that has the wrong title. Sorry. The more you watch, the more inadvertent shit happens. Puts hands up. I've accidentally run across a couple videos with the wrong title. And it's people who have themselves wrapped in like trash bags with gas masks and other shit on, and I'm looking at this going, what is wrong with people? These are the ones that deserve, you know, a place with a sterile bed and bars on the window and glass doors and, you know, white coats. And it's becoming more common. And I understand people and their sexuality. You will do what you enjoy, and hopefully you'll enjoy what you do. But at what point do we have to stop and go, okay, well, maybe we should be a little more careful about what we're exposing people to, because how easy is it for somebody to watch something and go, hey, that looks like fun, I'll try it. Yet that something may be extremely dangerous. Like, hey, look, he ate a Tide Pod. I can eat a Tide Pod too. Not showing the part where they go into seizures and convulsions and into a body bag. Hey, look, he can get himself off by breathing into a paper bag for 45 minutes. I'll try that. I'm not sure how that works. I discovered a really cool, scary YouTube channel called Who, also known as Everyone Screams in the Dark. Have fun with that. This is a really dark sex topic, but again, I want to say something about it was an article somebody was reading from the news on a guy that was wrapped in saran wrap and duct taped to the wall and found mummified or something like that. I'm not entirely sure because I listen to this stuff as I'm doing other things. And I remember back in the late 90s, there were several news articles about plays that were happening and movies that were done with actors and actresses who did full body makeup. And the full body makeup clogged the pores to a point where their skin was suffocating. And I remember a doctor or scientist or something explaining that a portion, like 15% of the air that you breathe, is literally through your skin. And in order to stay cool, you breathe and you perspirate through your skin. Now, if somebody wraps themselves up in, plastic wrap alone and still leaves, the mouth and nose uncovered, you're still cutting down on their body's ability to breathe, depending on how long they're in there. And then if you are wrapping them in a substance that constricts, you're disabling the ability to breathe in and out. Now, is it like, this is the weird thing. I'm questioning it. I'm not actually interested in it. But I've seen it, and it makes me question it. So, is the autoerotic asphyxiation basically that I'm going to be lightheaded when I come and I'm going to enjoy it? Or would the oxygen deprivation make the orgasm last longer or be stronger? And I'm sorry, sometimes after sex, especially when you get a little sweaty, the first thing after you come is, get off me, I'm done, move, I gotta breathe. And I couldn't think to be wrapped up in plastic and then what? Like, this all confuses me to a point where why would someone, for pleasure, attempt to kill themselves? Women's orgasms can last up to an hour. Look up Mythbusters Goldfinger episode. I will have to. And what the fuck is this channel? I'm not going to look at anything else during this stream. I have learned my lesson well. That's a song. I've learned my... I don't know how that song goes, but I know that's a lyric from a song. Yes. Let's, since we're on the topic of sex, I've mentioned this once before, but I don't know if anybody understands what tantric sex actually is. And I was under the naive impression it was just, special and something different, different way. But it's not like Kama Sutra or anything teaching you new positions. It's more of... It's a way to train your body to experience sex differently. So, whereas the female body can easily have multiple orgasms or continued orgasms or, other things like that, the male body can also do that. It's just harder to achieve. I've looked up, I've read in, and I'm trained on a few little things of tantric sex, but not to the point where I wish I was. You can make an orgasm last. You can orgasm multiple times. It's about training your mind and body to be able to do it. So keep that in mind. Work on it. Maybe actually read into it. Don't just think, well, women can have better orgasms than men. No, you know what? You want to have some fun? Try to have sex for a few hours. It is a workout, I'll tell you what. Wait, we have to move on. We have to move on. And there was another topic up there. I think Jacob said virtual reality. Yes, there are very dark sex stuff that should never look up. Again, it's all about endorphins and tantric sex. Think about cross between yoga and ritual. having looked into tantric sex, and again, I was young. I was in my 20s when I actually looked into tantric sex, and I had a girl who sent me a couple of books. I met her online. We chatted for months and months and talked. She sent me a couple of books and said, "Here, read these. You'll enjoy it." We talked for a couple more months, and then she just kind of disappeared. But I read the books. Oh, man, did I enjoy the books. I did a little more searching, and I bought a couple of How to Change Your Life books that were evolved around how to release yourself from the decisions. It's hard to explain. How to change your way of thinking without changing your way of life. So I'm very open to looking at different options and trying things. I'm not really all that open to being wrapped in plastic wrap. And yeah, it is kind of yoga and ritual, but it's more like yoga, ritual, physical. What was the word I was looking for? Pavlov. Pavlov. Like, you have to train your body to do things. It's like your immediate impulse when having sex is to get to the orgasm. When you start learning tantric, you realize that it's not about getting to the orgasm, it's about achieving the ability to get to the orgasm at your desire. So it gives you the ability to hold it back or to have it, as opposed to working towards it. And once you have control over that, you can make the feeling of the orgasm continue after or during the orgasm for longer periods. But yeah, we need to move on. This is getting sexual. In life, let me read properly, because if life and work is done in a VR world, would you pay for rent for the digital space you use? Here's an interesting concept, and this is something I kind of heard in a stream that Gulf City Streaming was doing, and I was thinking about questions while listening to other things. I suppose you're welcome, Dewey. When you host a video like this, the server that's hosting, YouTube stream that's hosting my server, is hosting the amount of data that I'm sharing with the number of people I'm sharing with. Thank you all. It says 7, it could be 5, it could be 9, I don't know. Thank you all of you for showing up, but you're using data. And the data I stream to you times the number of you using it times the number of streams I do a week begins to add up. Now, if on a monthly basis I have to pay for the amount of data that I use to do this, that would greatly take away from the 0 that I have earned in doing this from the person who's charging me. So it's not like, not that I've earned 0, but it's hard to continue to pay for something when you don't get paid for doing something. And if you worked in a virtual space, you would be paid to work there. Would the work that you do, or the work that you do would take up an amount of data. It would take up bits and transfer speed and space and time and servers and this and that and the other thing. And when you add that up at the end of the month, would you be paying rent for the digital space that you used? And how would they accumulate that? Would you be able to do it like a cell phone plan where you can have unlimited to this amount and then we're going to slow you down? Or would it be, group tiers? Well, if you use 2 terabytes a month, we're going to charge you this. It might turn the data into a wasteland. Oh, I like that. Where's my mouse? Awesome. This sounds like that movie game, or this sounds like that movie gamer or Surrogates. I haven't seen the movie gamer or whatever, the Ready Player One or whatever the movie is. I was just thinking more along the lines of, as we are able to move into a virtual world, we pay for the world that we have access to. I pay 70, 80 something, whatever it is a month for access to the internet at my house. That internet is unlimited. It does not matter the amount of which I use, but I have access privy to the number of people that are using the time of day and the connection ability of the ISP. Now, if I was using a virtual space, virtual servers, would I pay for using that space? So let's say my job entailed me to getting online and monitoring screens, and I could put on a virtual helmet, sit there and monitor screens. But in order for me to do that at my house, I'm going to have to pay the server to broadcast all the signals to my house, condense it, and then I'm going to have to pay for programming and stuff to reestablish it and make the world work and all of this. This is all bandwidth and information traveling back and forth. Am I going to have to pay for this if I live or work in this virtual world? Or, well, yeah, if I not so much, I guess it would be socially live in the virtual world and work in the virtual world. Would that then change my cost of living? Would I be paying for that space that I use? This is an interesting question I thought of, that as we do everything, it seems that somehow somebody or something, government or corporate or individual, charges us for our time and our space. So wouldn't we then be charged some sort of rent or usage fee or toll for the time and space? Welcome, TCA. Pardon. Let's see. Is there a writer in our midst? I have not seen him. Not yet. Ryan has avoided me today. I'm wondering, I would think I was supposed to have him on Friday, but I didn't do his show Friday because I didn't turn my computer on, so I hope he's not terribly mad at me. I will try to get him on again. Sorry, I had to take a drink. This also reminds me of Second Life. For nearly 10 years, I treated it like my real life. I had a job, house, and things. It was fun. Dad is not here. He can't tell me. Is Second Life the game where if people create something, they can sell it to somebody for the funds in the game, and then you can transfer those funds into real life money? Why am I having such a problem talking? Into real life money via some transaction or something in and out of the game. Oh man, see now that, and it's not even really a VR world, it's sort of a constructed open world platform where people are allowed to create and do things. Apparently you can sell the schematics and items in the game and make money, and I was informed, I want to say by data, that there's actually people that make their living off of something they have created in the game. 3,000 lindens is roughly $5. Okay. Yes, that's the game then. That is the game. I'm pretty sure Dada was explaining to me there is a guy who literally owns his own spot island because of this game. He lives off of the money that just comes in from something he created in the game and sells. Awesome idea. Kind of scary though that a artificially created world would have some sort of equal compared impact on the real world. At the same time, look at what the internet has done to real world conversations. So I guess at the same time I can't really argue that back and forth. 2003, you say? What was I doing in 2003? I was living life happy in the sun, I think. I think I was living in California at the time. Good morning, Dada. I said your name, and thus you appeared. Can't watch with no data. Have a good show, Skull. Oh, thank you. Oh, your phone's out of data. Thank you, Wild Fox. Have a good day. Here we are, 3 topics down, halfway through the show. We need to pick something else to talk about because while we know autoerotic asphyxiation doesn't work in your virtual reality world that you pay for space, there's... What was the other thing we talked about? How I was trying to combine everything together. It's not going to work. What is real? How do you know what reality is? What is there to compare it to? My neighbor and I had a discussion, and I'll briefly talk about this before I talk about TCA's decision to go with controversy. We had a discussion. Would a person who lived by themselves as a hermit be truly happy? Or would it be changed if they learned another definition of happiness from another way of living? So, how you consider the way you live is based on your experience and what you've been exposed to. And using that to my previous statement, being exposed to the internet, you now just are inundated with stuff. Let's move on. Controversy. Children being separated from families because of misdemeanor offenses is wrong or right. Oh shit. Oh, we gotta... Is this a Trump question? Do I have a Trump question? Before asking the question of reality, what is consciousness? Ooh, we'll get there. We'll get there, Data. Thanks a lot for inciting my mind to work. Now I'm going to have plenty of conversational topics for the day. I've been kind of closely watching this border debate. I am on the side that it is our country. If they're coming over a wall or through a non-border control area, then they're attempting to break the law by choice. And when you choose to break the law, you have to know that there is a repercussion. And as I've discussed before, whether or not you know what that repercussion is, you know that there is a repercussion. Now, do I believe that the repercussion should be separating you from your children? No. But I've been pulled over and had a sandwich baggie in the back seat, and it wasn't the only baggie in the back seat, and I was detained and taken to the police station. Now, when I was arrested, this was a misdemeanor charge. All those who were in the vehicle with me were not equally arrested just because I broke the law. Now, if I had a child in the car, that child would have been separated from me because I broke the law and the child was just there. The other parties in the car were just there. It was my car. It was everything in it was mine. The others were just with me. Okay? So they didn't necessarily commit any offenses. They were just associated with me. And if I had children, they would be associated with me. But being that the children don't necessarily have anywhere else to go with, there's not another legal advisor that crossed with them that the children can go with for the moment while the person goes down to the precinct and gets charged and filed and whatever the case may be. So you're going to get separated. So do I feel any different about crossing the border than committing a misdemeanor in the United States? No. Nightbot, what is that? Oh, cannabis. Yeah, cannabis. Gotta love that cannabis. So, do I feel bad for children being separated from their parents when their parents commit a misdemeanor crime of crossing the border, not at a border crossing location? No. In fact, I'm wondering why it's okay for them to cross not at a location. And every time the topic gets brought to that, it's that, well, they're not being allowed in at the border crossing. Well, they are. It's just that we can't let everybody in. my experience in my life, unfortunately, for several years, because of issues I put myself in, honestly, involves being through the system in many different ways. If you go to a rehabilitation facility, oftentimes there's a number of beds, and they're referred to as a number of beds, the ability to, put you in that facility. And when you're mandated to be there, you have to wait for that bed to open up to get in there. This is kind of how I see border crossing. And this is how I'm going to analogize, I think is the right word. This is how I'm going to analogize it. If you want to cross the border, there has to be a place for you to go. There has to be a bed for you to sleep in so you can be treated equal with everybody else. If we can't treat you equal, we're not going to let you sleep on the floor or in the bathtub, because that doesn't allow us to keep things flowing the way they should. So if we don't have a bed, we're not going to let you in. I see border crossing kind of as the same way. There isn't necessarily a place or a way we can take care of them financially should they not be able to do it themselves. There is no bed for them to sleep in, and we don't want them to sleep on the floor, but they're crawling through the window and sleeping under the bed, and it's causing problems because they're still using the showers. So the soap and the other, the resources in the showers are being used. The dishes and food and things in the kitchen are being used. They're being consumed. They're not being properly managed. And it's moving quicker than predicted. And we can't figure out how to make up for the gap of what it's costing us to take care of those are there, because we don't know exactly how many people are taking from what we have. Now, counter to this argument, people are going to say, well, we have plenty we can share, but we don't. Money, while it seems infinite, is finite. And people who are here who have a bed contribute and pay into those resources being there for them when they need to use them. When you add more people to using the resources deplete faster, and those who need them, who have been there contributing to them, don't necessarily get to reap the benefits of what they put in for. So how is that acceptable? And this is how I try to look at the border crossing, is if we don't have a bed for somebody, how can we take them? We want to make sure those that we take in, we can care for and maintain, even if they can't do it for themselves. And that's kind of a socialist outlook, but damn, I really can't talk today. But at the same time, with that socialist outlook, you can't have an increase to a socialist community and have a socialist community last. The community is built on working a certain way, and once you change the dynamic, it won't work. Well, ours is kind of the same way. We're built to work for the people that we have. We're built to try and give them what they deserve for what they've put in. And then more people go in and go, no, we've put in a little bit. We deserve the same as everybody else, but you haven't put in the same as everybody else. It's not the same as everybody else. You didn't follow the rules all of these other people did. You don't deserve it. There is not a bed for you. Try again tomorrow. And I don't know how many times I was forced to call that place and hear that told to me, and go at the privy of when there was a bed, I could go. But until then, I couldn't. There is a system. The system is there for a reason. If the system needs to be changed, then work to change the system. But if you're not a part of what the system is there for, you can't change the system. Must be hard to talk without lips. Something's getting me today. Must be the moon. Moon day. It's moon day. Okay. How many have we done? We've done 4. 14 to go. Nah. We'll do another one. Times Tim was I don't know data. Time's up. Okay, so he can't type, I can't talk. It all works out in the end, I guess. What are we going to talk about next, guys? We have quite the crowd starting to build. I just saw a double digit in my viewers. I'm so excited. So excited. It's wonderful to see you all here. I'm glad to have you and appreciate every last. Oh, and they all left. They don't like me anymore. Oh well, I'll keep going anyway. We need another topic. And we have people in here that can pick them. What should we talk about next, guys? Because here on this Moon Day show, I gotta stop doing that. It already sounds terrible. Here on this Monday show, we're gonna get maybe one more out of the way. One more out of the way. Who wants to talk about the travel ban? I don't. Movies! That Wasteland wants to do movies. Movie. Why must we question the actors in a movie as opposed to the idea of the movie? You know, as I sit back in my crackly wooden chair, this really does bother me. And I have to say, I do have my critique of movies. Like, I personally didn't like the Batman versus Superman, and I didn't like the following movie, so much so that I don't even know its name. And it's not that I didn't like it because I didn't think the characters did well. I really, personal point of view here, my perspective, I don't know who 90% of the actors and actresses are. You can quote to me names of people who did voices or showed up in movies, and I might know like Sylvester Stallone, Julia Roberts, Jim Carrey kind of thing. I'm a 90s movie person where after that, if you weren't already a big name, you mean nothing to me kind of thing. I really don't care who you are. I care how the movie was. If I enjoy watching a movie, I'm going to watch it. So if I don't care what your name is, I just care how good you look in the bikini since you're in a beach movie, then what makes you care? What makes you think I care about what your LGBTQIA alphabet status is? Or whether you prefer men or women? I don't. I'm just looking at you. You mean nothing to me kind of thing. I just like looking, or there's a premise I'm watching, or you're supposed to be telling me a story and that's what I'm watching. I don't care about you individually because I'm going to walk away and you mean nothing. I know I have a weird look on things sometimes, but that's kind of how I see movies, is like I see the internet. Everybody on the internet I interact with, it's a relationship of some type, but when I walk away, the internet means nothing, real life does. So why would I care about the actor? Anything about any actor? I remember Tony Curtis, Bo Derek, Rock Hudson. Tony Curtis? That's not... I'm thinking Jamie Lee Curtis. Sorry. See, I don't know Tony Curtis. I don't know Bo Derek, Rock Hudson. I know The Rock. I don't even know his real name. Don't care. I could if I thought about it for 20 minutes. But, again, it's not important to me. It's my escape. I don't care who the character in the damn video game is. It's my escape. Oh, Tony Curtis. That is her dad. Okay, fair enough. I won't remember that in an hour. Dwayne Johnson. No, thanks, everybody. See what I mean? To everybody else, sometimes the person who does this is, oh, cool. Look, they got The Rock in that movie. I gotta check it out. Hey, it's a movie about dads taking about, what is it? Daddy, was The Rock that did Daddy Daycare? See, I don't even fucking remember. I don't care. The movie was alright. The kids were a little obnoxious, but kids are obnoxious. Some of the things they did in the movie were a little off. But it's not about who's in the movie necessarily as much as it is about what the movie showed me, what I got out of the movie. Was I able to escape? Was I able to laugh? Was there enough blood and gore? Did it look real? Did it feel like this actually could have happened? Did I feel like I was a part of the movie? Did the camera jump and bob too many times? These are the things that I critique about a movie. I really don't care about the person who played somebody in a movie because I care who they played in the movie. So when I refer to an actor or an actress, I'm talking it's the guy with the leather jacket that was with the other guy with the red hair. In the movie where whatever happened. That's how I figure out who it was. I don't care about the actors. If the movie was cool, if the plot was important, if the action was exciting, if the comedy was hysterical, that's how I go by the movie. If you show up in enough good movies that I can appreciate, and I see you over and over again, and your name shows up on the cover enough times, I'm gonna remember it, just because of exposure. I remember my driver's license number because I've used it so many times, I have it memorized. I memorize credit card numbers sometimes. I memorize all sorts of shit by accident. I don't care what someone's name or address or sexuality is unless you're personally involved in my real life. So why does any of it matter in the movies? And this is something when I see critique of absolutely bothers the hell out of me. And again, this is my personal perspective. Take out of this what you wish. To criticize a movie because they picked an actor or actress for it, or somebody was too big or too small, or their tits were too big, or their junk didn't poke out enough, to pick somebody for that reason, if that's the point they're trying to portray across in the movie, absolutely. Am I going to go watch the Lara Croft Tomb Raider movie that just came out? Maybe, when it cost me nothing to watch because I'm tired of giving money to movies. But would I be more excited to watch it if she had bigger, plumper tits and a rounder ass? Maybe. Maybe. Do I care who she is or anything else about her? No. You're literally... I'm literally paying for something to see you to fulfill my visual needs. Fulfill my visual needs like you are hired and are being paid to do like I paid to see you do. I don't care who you are after you do the movie, in between doing the movie. I don't care what you do. Just make the next movie good and I'll see you again. I need to find an old movie called The Great Race. Well, some actors play the same personality and others can be different in all movies. That's very true. Some people kind of, they hit a niche. And they play that niche so well that they get hired for those niche roles. Other people, some of them, I've even seen actors kind of complain, especially after getting stuck in like a Star Trek or like a family movie or show, that they'll get stuck in like a niche genre where they always get the same type of role and they'd like to break free and do something different, and that usually changes things. You get a niche role because you fit that. I don't know where people think, for me, again, I think of Hollywood as this. If you want to be something, you go out there and you apply for a role. But just because you apply for a role doesn't mean they're going to hire you for what you're applying for. It means they're going to hire you based on something they see that you can fulfill. You portray something they're trying to fill, a view, some sort of scenario, a voice tone, a look, and they're going to place you where they feel you fit. You're not just going to walk into Hollywood and get into a movie where you're going to be some sexy role model if you're a 900-pound, short-haired, yellow-skinned person. And when I say yellow skin, I mean jaundice because you haven't ate any fruit later. Pigeonholed. That's what it is. It's called pigeonholed into certain things. But they get there because people see they fit that role. And when they try to break free from that role, oftentimes they do terrible because they don't fit what they're trying to do. They fit where they're put. And I know that sounds terrible, but shit is the way it is. And this is just how I see it. So it's not about who the actor is or what they do or what they want to do. I really could give a damn. It's about how well you fill the role you were put there to fill. Are you showing me what I want to see or giving me something that appeals to me in the visual, again, the visual stimulation that I'm watching? If you don't fit into a role or you don't play that role properly, then it just makes for a shit movie. I don't care about you personally. Play your role right. Know your role. Kind of thing, right? Right? Know your role? Where's that from? Oh my. Oh my. I think that's just about a show, everybody. What time is it? It's about 4 minutes to the end. 3 minutes to the end. What else could we or would we talk about today? Again, it has been an interesting show. I'm trying to remind myself to say things like, if you enjoy any topic or question that has been had on this show, please take it to your own. Do your own show. Link me. Let me have something to watch myself, because I do enjoy. Stay in your lane, lol. That's right. Stay in your lane. Know what you're good at and do it. I have no idea what I'm good at, so I do a little of everything. Praise is always welcome. Thanks for showing up. I see the view count, and that looks like praise to me. The watch time looks like praise to me. The subscriber count. Thank you again, Ranting Monkey. I appreciate it if you watch my show. And anybody else who subscribed, thanks to Ranting Monkey's appearance again. I appreciate that. The Great Race. IMDb.com, little TT, blah. And with that, guys, I think we're about at the time where you need to kick, slap, lick, kiss, fondle someone or more of the buttons. Something? I don't know. Hit a button, slap a button, kick a button, hit a button, play with the belly button, something. There's buttons. Let me do that outro button screen and let you enjoy those buttons. Ooh. Make sure you enjoy those buttons on your way out, folks. Thank you so much for showing up. I don't think I'm going to do a Wednesday show because I'm supposed to be somewhere when I'm supposed to do a show, but I may do a little something in the afternoon before I leave. I gave myself enough time to see if maybe we can do a shoot the crap stream and add some more stuff to these bots if anybody thinks that might be fun. And then I'll try to make sure we do a Friday night show at 7 p.m. of The Great Debate. But as always, and Data will agree, tune in Saturday at 7 p.m. for the Numbed Wasteland, a topical conversation show that goes for roughly an hour, and we don't ever know what we're going to cover next. It's just so much fun because it's kind of random, like this. Thank you, everybody, so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Let us get some royalty-free music and play you guys